listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to than Zac Gallen. That's a fact. It's always the case. And one of the highlights of every time I see the Arizona Diamondbacks, last time I saw you, you swept a series. Congratulations. Remember this?
This was last time we were in Boston?
Last time we were in Boston.
Yeah, that was fun. We were playing really well at that time.
Yeah, it's good luck. It's like I said, the baseball's and boring stickers. Did I tell you about the Tory thing in the hat? The sticker in the hat.
I think you did.
Game 2. Yeah. Hey, listen, the only World Series game that he ever won is the World Series. He had a sticker in the hat, and then blame your manager that he for some reason changed his hat out.
Oh no!
To this
I'm gonna
day.
go talk to him when I get
Oh, come on.
It's all your fault.
I remember another thing we talked about. We talked about clothes. I don't know why, because I saw you guys wearing the jumpsuits.
Yeah. That's been frequent. Even since I got here. I remember when I was in Miami, it was like you wore jacket, pants, whatever, and then I got here and it was like jumpsuit. I'm like, this is awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's the best.
So just before we get to the nuts and bolts, did you have fashion-wise, like you said, we were just talking about hats and if you have a lot of hats. You're a shoe guy?
I'm a shoe guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you what kind of shoe guy are you?
Mainly Jordans, Nikes. I've gotten into. I got a pair of Asics I really like right now. I just like anything that looks really good.
What's the oldest shoe?
Oldest pair that I have?
Yeah. Are you like an eBay? Like I'm gonna go get the Jordan whatever 2s or whatever it is.
I'm a fan of the 1s. The Jordan 1s are cool. I like the 3s a lot. All those earlier-ish models, 6, 7s, 8s are cool. The oldest pair I have though is probably, I think I have a pair of Jordan 11 Concords from 2011. So
okay, do you wear them?
I haven't worn them in a while. They've just been not in my rotation, but I still wear them. But it's probably been a few months.
What's your go-to shoe? This is the thing that when I woke up this morning, I didn't think.
You didn't think you were talking about shoes?
I don't know, but I forget this. I feel like we've only talked a few times, but I feel like every time we talk, it's like this is the good thing.
This is what. The shoes I've been wearing a lot lately are these Asics I bought last year. I, for some reason, was looking for a pair of shoes that I had in my closet that had a little bit of green in them. I wound up wearing them. They were super comfortable, and now they're my go-to. I just slip them on. That's my go-to right now. I'd say I probably have a pair of Jordan 3s. The black cement ones are my other go-to. If I want to wear a Jordan. So those are my two main.
Are you? I should know this. Are you a shoe company guy? Are you contracted?
No, I don't have anything.
So you always find there's less and less of that, right?
Yeah, very.
Is that true?
Very true. I think one of my misconceived notions about getting to the big leagues is everyone got the big leagues, everyone got a shoe deal. So I've been hey, talking to my agents, whatever, I want to get a shoe deal, whatever. And they were hey, they're becoming rarer and rarer, and now it almost seems very rare the guys get shoe deals.
So you know how I knew this? I actually asked Bregman because he was wearing Nikes, and then all of a sudden he showed up in New Balance. I said, "Oh, big news! You switched deals." He's like, "No, I don't have a deal."
No, it's crazy. You're talking about Alex, who's won a couple World Series, a multi-time All-Star, really good player, and the company just have felt
why,
for whatever reason, I'm
trying to because one of my go-tos is about 7 years ago, they wouldn't even let you put more than 2 colors on a shoe.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. I've been trying my hardest to get a Jordan deal.
Ooh, I can do that.
But
let me help you.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I still just wear them. When I'm out there. I got a couple of the custom cleats that I did. They did some Jordans for me.
Okay.
I got a buddy of mine who is helping me do some ones that I might break out on the road next week. So we'll see. Yeah.
I feel like because of obviously where you came from.
Yeah.
like you would. You had things to do. You had a game to pitch, and you couldn't be in the box.
Yeah.
But that would have been nice if, like, at the no matter what the result of the football game.
Yeah, I know. I saw that he was at the game, and I was like, oh man, I would love to be up in that box, just like rubbing elbows with him, Coach Williams, LT. I've been on this campaign for a while now. We did our UNC baseball dinner a couple years ago. I was the guest speaker, and Coach Williams was at my table, and I was like, Coach, you can help me out.
You never met Jordan?
I haven't, no.
Yeah. Oh.
He wasn't really around campus when I was there. I think only more recently has he been getting to campus more and more. But yeah, so maybe at some point I'll.
Well, again, I'm here to make dreams come true, and I'm not going to bring up the football game. I promise that. Like,
that's a tough one. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, listen, that's why you have Coastal Carolina around the corner, whatever it is.
That's a good football program right now, though. So I don't know if Carolina wants to play Coastal.
That's the difference between baseball. Baseball every single day. It's relentless.
True. Yeah.
So I want to talk about, congratulations, man. You've been pitching really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so I was eyeing you at the trade deadline, and because a lot of people were, and I don't know if it's just you get past that, and maybe this is a cliche thing. You get past that, but I'm like, okay, I'm here, I can just go, right? I don't know if is that a thing or not?
No, not really, because I knew I needed to pitch better. I think ultimately, I think I'm just executing at a better level, really, is what it's come down to. I think on top of that, I have gotten away with some mistakes. I've gotten a little bit lucky when I've made some mistakes. I think that there was some games throughout the first couple months, but like even the last month, there were some games that were good lines were soured by I'd give up a late home run in the 7th inning, and turn a 7-inning 2-run outing into a 7-inning 4-run outing or whatever. Something that it wasn't like amazing.
But you hadn't done that before, like was that the first time in your life?
It's honestly been the 21 was the year I battled some injuries. I just had like a little bit of inflammation in the elbow, had some hamstring stuff. Like it was just kind of a weird year, and I felt like it was very stop and go. And every time I'd come back, it'd take me a little while to get my feet wet. So when I went back and kind of looked at some numbers to make sense of what was going on, I noticed that when I usually tend to have not a great year from a statistical standpoint, I tend to give up a lot of home runs. So for whatever reason this year, whether it was like lack of execution, lack of me making the right pitch, calling the right pitch, whatever it was, like for some reason the ball was just leaving the ballpark at like a higher rate than I had in my career. And I feel like recently in the last 7 or so starts, I've been doing a really good job of trying to keep the ball in the ballpark, and the numbers have kind of trended in the right direction. I used to say the skeleton machine. I don't know if you guys have a skeleton machine. I don't think so.
Yeah, so Giolito was like, when he turned the corner, you said, I looked at my skeleton, and it's that it shows, instead of the stick figures, it shows the actual skeleton.
All right, yeah.
Right, so like, I use that, I say that because sometimes it's that wonky deep dive into that, or maybe it's just, like you said, I just feel better, man. Like, I don't know.
That's the thing, like I felt, from a feeling standpoint, like I felt healthy all year. I felt really good, felt like, velo kind of was about where it's been normally, and stuff's been about where it's normally been. I think just for some reason, just early in the year, obviously there was some command issues. The delivery fell a little off. I was kind of, trying to figure out for whatever reason I was kind of stuck in neutral, really. Okay. So that was kind of, biting me in the butt a little bit, like being behind the count, having to make pitches. Then it's like, okay, now I'm getting ahead in the count. I'm in the strike zone, and I'm still giving up damage. So I think we're kind of, at least the last 6 or 7, we're kind of seeing like, okay, I'm ahead in the count. I'm in the strike zone. I'm making the pitches when I need to, and the numbers are,
Do you feel like this? Again, a cliche question, but do you feel like yourself? Like, do you feel like how you've been in the last month?
Yeah, I feel this feels more like me.
Familiar.
Like, a lot more familiar. Like almost like when I'm going out there and giving up, 3 runs, I'm not thrilled with my outing, as opposed to like earlier in the year was like, I'll take an out. I'll just take a quality start, like type of deal. But like more recently, after the trade line, I felt like myself, and we just kind of changed some things up, whether it was pitch selection, pitch location, like just different things that like you could look at it on a piece of paper, like you're saying, look at the skeleton machine and understand you have to do these things, but if you don't execute them, it doesn't matter.
No, I know.
Anyway, so.
It's honestly, like, again, I've talked to millions of guys about you gotta have all this information, but it's like sifting through it.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't want to be paralyzed by it.
Yeah, and you're not out there, you're not a robot. It's not like,
Yeah.
ooh, every 1-0 count I need to throw like this pitch, but it's just like, hey, okay, like when the games I've thrown not great in 1-0 counts, I'm giving up damage on X pitch, or hey, when I've thrown really good, I'm executing this pitch in this count. Like, so just having an idea of those things. But when you get out there, you're ultimately competing and just trying to make pitches, and hopefully you get the result you're looking for.
Did you think you were going to be traded?
Honestly, I didn't know what was going to happen. I talked to our front office a little bit, just to kind of have them like, hey, like, can you just give
Which
me
is
a heads
important,
up?
by the way.
Like,
I think that's good that they.
Yeah, and they're great. Like, I mean, obviously, I credit. This is where I grew up. Like, as much as I played for other organizations, like this is where I grew up as a big leaguer. So, I feel like I had to have a really good relationship with Hayes, Amiel, Torrey, Fitz, like all that, and just be like, hey, can you just give me a heads up if it's going to happen? And they were pretty transparent throughout, like, leading up to it, going through it, like, hey, this is what we're thinking. I'm like, all right, cool. So, like, I was just kind of sitting there the trade deadline day and, like, just kind of waiting like everybody else, because I know it starts to move fast. I was like, well,
So when you woke up that morning, did you have a feeling one way or the other, or no?
I had a feeling I was going to stay.
Okay.
Like, just all the things that, like, I don't have the rose-colored glasses. So I'm not like, oh, like they're gonna trade me just because. But like I knew, like, okay, with me going into free agency this year, I'm a rental. There's a possibility that I'm attached to a qualifying offer, so the comp pick there, and all these things of like, I'm like, okay, they're gonna value me a little differently than just what the numbers say on the page.
Right.
And so I kind of was like, I don't think I'm gonna go. I think they're going to want to get really good value for me, and if they're not going to get that, then they're not going to do it. And now I'm here, and I'm glad to be here because we're still playing for something.
Yeah.
We're 5.5 games out. Like, we still have a shot. So I think this will be a fun. If we can figure out a way to squeak into the playoffs, this will be a fun.
It's also good like this. You're pitching well, and the another thing, I talked to Cease. And he's obviously going through the same thing, a contract year. And then we talk like, hey, listen, everybody handles it different.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time you're dealing with it.
And for me, honestly, like, contract year, I've said this from the beginning, from when people started asking me about it in the wintertime. Like, it's not, if you're a true competitor and you're someone that's focused on what the task at hand is ultimately going out every fifth day and trying to give your team a chance to win, you don't think about the contract year at all. And
but you've seen probably guys who have probably
100%. Like, I've definitely been around, guys who, for whatever reason, they wanted to change this about themselves or that to seem more appealing. Whatever it is, like, for me, it's like as soon as I cross the white lines, I'm trying to just go out and make pitches, get outs, get back in the dugout as fast as possible. And I mean, obviously, I think people will look at it and go, oh, he handled it like poorly. He was, whatever. I think if people who like truly know me know that
had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's not even like, because there's been years I've had, going into the draft, going into arbitration, like I've had some of my best years in my entire baseball career. So it's not a thing for me. I think it's just more of like, just had a year where I was bad command and just making some mistake pitches and getting burned, and the numbers were what they were.
One of the things I always bring up with you, and it's kind of, I think we talked about it last time, is going through that year through the playoffs, and how I use you as a perfect example of a guy who managed it, managed it, because 241
or 240, something like that.
Which last year there was nobody close to that, right? But the fact that you did it, so I guess what I'm asking is sort of the lessons that you can impart to the people who have gone through it or might be going through it, because again, you lived that life, which is a unique life.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure. I think I saw a stat which I'm gonna misquote it, but like essentially, I was the first pitcher I think in 20-something years to make 41 starts, including the All-Star game in a year, and the names that were on that list were like, the Hall of names of baseball. So for me, that was like really cool. But at the time when you're going through it, you don't think of like, oh, I'm at inning 240. You're just, once you get to October, like you're running on pure adrenaline. So it's like.
Well, I remember you saying, not to interrupt, but I remember you saying like it was after where you like went to sleep for 3 days.
I literally, like I laid on my couch for like 3 days, and she was my girlfriend at the time now, but my fiance, she was like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, I think I'm fine. I was like, but I need like a couple of days just to be like horizontal because I am exhausted, like mentally and physically exhausted. I don't know. I don't know that I have like advice for guys who might be running up on that type of thing. I think the hard part is like you want to be you don't want to be physically exhausted by the time you get to October.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to be the guy who in September, like, I'm only gonna throw 5 innings today because I'm trying to like save bullets. So like, and that was us. We took it down to the wire. So
that's the thing. You couldn't go on cruise control.
No,
right?
and I told Tori, I was like, every 5th day, give me the ball, like, and I'll give you 100, 110 pitches, like whatever it is. I think if I were to do it again, now obviously you don't know in the beginning of the year, but guys that are smart early in the year about like, hey, I might need to throw 115 pitches in the middle of April because that might save me an inning come, October, whatever it is. But still, the ride was fun nonetheless. I mean, I would sign up for it all over.
And you're not, when you're going through like this time of year in September a couple of years ago, you're not thinking, oh my goodness, I'm getting into uncharted territory. You're just like, let's go pitch.
You go pitch. Because ultimately it comes down to they're going to take this uniform off of you at some point in the near future. I mean, your careers only last so long. So to look back for me, like I wouldn't want to look back and be like, man, I took a couple innings off in September and we didn't get to go on the run or whatever it is. Like for me, it was like I pitch the All-Star game, do this, do that, like because you never know when it's your last. So.
Did you treat like the off season and the next season differently because you like, and maybe the club forced you to treat it differently?
So what's funny about that is I did treat it a little differently, but I had intended on treating it a little differently before the season had even started. Mainly with my throwing program. Like I'd grow up playing like that was my parents' rule was one sport at a time. There was no like we're gonna run from basketball to baseball to football to soccer, like whatever.
Yeah.
So my 2 main sports I played were baseball and basketball, and once November-ish came around, it was basketball season. So I never picked up a baseball for 3 months. So my arm was just used to not throwing for a long period of time. Obviously I'd build it back up, things like that. So I went into my like 3rd year in the big league still doing that, like still taking like 8 to 10 weeks off of just not picking up a baseball.
Yeah.
And I remember in 22 coming into the year, my arm was like a little squeaky and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And I remember talking to some coaches that played a while, some trainers that were like, hey, you might have to continue to keep throwing just as like an active recovery. So that's what I did going into 23. I said, okay, cool. I took off a few weeks last year. I think I took off, going into 22, I think I took off like 5 weeks and my arm still took a while to get out of defrosting, as you can call it.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
I was like, after 2023, I'm gonna just do active recovery, play catch every other day, 60 feet for like a couple minutes, like it is what it is. So then go that year, pitch 240 innings, and then I'm back at Salt River 10 days later, and people were like, what are you doing? I was like, this is what I think I need to do to keep my arm healthy. And knock on wood, like my arm's been healthy the last 2 years.
Whatever you did is right.
Like obviously last year was a bummer, like missing about a month with the hamstring, but from an arm standpoint, like I'm looking at throwing in 190 innings this year too. So like, I mean it's.
Playing basketball, man. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, well, I hung that up after freshman year. I was like, I'm too short. Like, it's not for me.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, I remember.
How old were you? How tall were you at freshman year of high school?
Probably like 5'6", 5'4". Like, I wasn't tall at all. And I remember the coach being like, hey, if you want to make the varsity team, you're going to have to play summer basketball. And I was like, you mean during baseball season?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And I was like, I see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go do baseball. I was like, all right, sounds good. And I knew I probably wouldn't have made the team anyway. Probably would have played JV as a sophomore.
Again, I'm trying to morph the world so you get to meet with Jordan and we get this deal done.
I mean, I'm still a basketball guy. Like, I love shooting hoops. But, after freshman year, I was like, it's not for me. I think baseball is the calling.
All right, last thing. We've had multiple people, including, I think, Cease, by the way, manager of the Red Sox, Alice Cora, has said if they win the World Series, they will get a Baseballs and Boring tattoo. Do you have any tattoos?
I have none.
All right, so let me sell it for you, okay?
All right.
I didn't have any. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I go to co-founder Joe Kelly. If you win the World Series, will you get a Baseballs and Boring tattoo? But only if Mr. Cartoon does it. I don't know who the fuck Mr. Cartoon is. Turns out he only does Beyonce and Eminem, but he's a Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
So fly out to LA. There it is.
Sick.
So I'm just saying.
So did Joe get one too?
Yeah,
All right,
we get them together. There's only 2 of these in the world. And, but since then, Cora has multiple times documented while like putting his head down and shaking, said he will get a Baseballs and Boring tattoo. Cease, I think he said yes. Giolito, definitely yes. And it doesn't have to be like that, like which is significant. It could be like a BIB.
BIB.
It can be whatever, but I think it's a spirit of the thing, right?
All right. I can't give you a definitive yes.
Okay.
But I won't give you a definitive no.
Okay.
So I'll give you a we'll see.
That's all I asked. So
We'll
it's
see.
okay if I loop back and
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I need creative liberty on the.
No, you can do whatever you want.
All right.
And I think what C said, he said, kind of what you said, but he said, find me immediately during the celebration when I'm most lubricated.
Probably. If you got me on the parade day, then maybe there's a possibility it could happen. So, but I'm not saying yes.
No.
I'm not saying no.
I am honored the fact that you're just even entertaining because those guys have tattoos.
Yeah,
Cora doesn't have any tattoos, but
I have no tattoos, not yet. So,
but this is not to tell you what to do, but along the lines, if you say to Jordan, I'll get a Jordan like tattoo logo on my foot.
Without a shadow, beyond the shadow of a doubt, I'd get it.
You would get it?
I would get it.
All right, we got that.
I would get it.
All right.
I don't know if I would get my foot, but I would get it. I would get I would get it.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever. Maybe I'd get it on my forehead.
He's a huge listener to the program, so hey, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Yep.